Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the final round of the PSGL F1 Championship here from the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I have to say, it seems like a lifetime ago we were starting this championship off at the Bahrain Grand Prix when MaxiLuca won in his Williams, and now here we are for a four-way title decider which will decide who will be crowned the first PSGL F1 Division Champion of this F1 2017 era. And boy oh boy, I've been looking forward to this one all week. So warm welcome to those who have already joined in this stream. And tonight I am very honoured to be joined by a former PSGL F1 driver and current AOR driver in Jake LFC. Jake, welcome to the commentary booth, my friend.
Yeah, great to be here. I'm looking forward to this because I've followed this league for the whole season. Well, I was in it left, and then I've been following it for the last couple of races. It has been pretty exciting to watch, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top today. And let's just hope for a good race.
Yes, we've had so many twists and turns. We've had 7 different race winners. We've had the lead of the championship switch multiple times between the title contenders. So we have 4 championship contenders in this battle tonight, Jake. Now, putting your bias aside, who is your money on this evening if you had to make a prediction between these 4 brilliantly talented drivers?
If I had to make, a physics, I'd have to go with Jamie, based on the fact that he likes to be under the radar a lot in the race, and he just seems to get by, and he does really well. He's been so consistent, so I think in my opinion, he'll come out on top today. It just depends how well Gamer and Louis do. If them two are in the top 3, he's got to work hard to gain some more positions. So I think he can do it. So I'm gonna go with Jamie.
Yes. Well, be very interested to hear those watching what their predictions are. Good evening to JPTV and Gamer, who's just left a quick message for us before getting ready for his race. So a quick reminder of the championship situation at the moment. Jamie leads the championship on 88 points with QPR Beast on 82 points. Gamer a further point behind on 81 points, and then Big C, the 7-time PSGL F1 champion, on 72 points. Now you'll probably want to be interested in what the permutations are for tonight's race. So in reverse order, let's start with Big C. The only way he can win the championship is if he wins the race. Jamie scores no points, and QPR Beast fails to finish at least 5th, and gamerdabest fails to finish at least 4th. gamerdabest, to be champion, he'll have to gain a minimum of 4th position. So if he finishes lower than the top 4, he cannot win the championship. He has to outscore Jamie by at least 7 points to take the title in terms of tying with Jamie because of his superior win record, and he has to also finish ahead of QPR Beast in that scenario. QPR Beast has a similar story in terms of winning the championship. He has to outscore Jamie by 6 points. He has to finish ahead of gamerdabest at the same time. And also, if Big C were to win the race, he has to finish at least 5th. And Jamie has a simpler path to the championship, given his points advantage, which at the moment is 6 to 2nd place. He has to basically avoid being outscored by 6 points from QPR Beast or 7 by gamerdabest. Jamie, incidentally, because of his inferior win record to the other 3 drivers around him, he can't win the championship if he ties with any of them at the top of the championship, as he has an inferior season win record. Now, if QPR Beast and gamerdabest were to retire, as anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does, he only requires a point if Big C were to win the race. And our good friend Remco will be giving us updated standings in the comments as the race unfolds. So, now that I've got those out of the way, which I'm sure will remind people of as the race continues, your thoughts on Abu Dhabi, Jake? What really is the sort of characteristics of this circuit that you really have to watch out for?
Yeah, I think one of the main factors of this track is traction out of some of the corners. Like, some people will be running medium traction, which benefits them, but coming out the hairpin in sector 2 and then the exit of the next chicane, it can mean everything traction, and also the tyre wear you know, if you're going to go for a one stop, you've got to be super careful. You don't push too much because then your tyres will be absolutely dead at the end, especially ultra softs if you've just qualified on them. So they're the two main ones I would look out for, and also the changing conditions. You know, the track temperature will slightly decrease as the race goes on as well.
Yes, I mean that track temperature that you just mentioned, that is certainly something which caught me out in my F4 race yesterday. I had brilliant performance until the very last few laps of the race, and then the tyre temperatures just dropped off, and unfortunately I had no performance in the tyres because they just couldn't get up temperature. So that's something the drivers would probably have considered before this race. So I'm just seeing who is missing this evening. Looks like a fairly full grid. We've got 14 drivers out there, so I think we're going to have a good field of drivers out there. Now,
I think we're just waiting on two people.
I think you're right, Jake. So Jake, just explain to the PSGL audience and those out there, what are your plans for PSGL next season, just briefly, before we get started here?
Alright, so I'm going to be F2 admin with Shortbread24. Some of the guys from F1 decided to move down. I thought it's a good opportunity for me to get back into PSGL. I enjoyed it, and then this season, which I was in, it kind of just fell apart, and I kind of wanted to stay in one league for the time being and then come back. And it definitely helped my motivation for next season. I can't wait for it. In an exceptional grid, provisional grid, sorry, which I can't wait to race against. Some very quick drivers, but not just quick. Not this season. We're not just going for quick drivers. We're also aiming for some consistency, attendance, and overall clean and competitive racing.
Yes, it was a pity that the F2 finale this season was overshadowed by a few shenanigans on track. So hopefully, with that very quality provisional grid that I read earlier, we will see an improvement in that respect. So I will quickly mention the Constructors' Championship, which, unlike the Drivers' title, is somewhat rather predictable where it will probably go unless something extraordinary happens. At the moment, Toro Rosso lead the standings on 154 points, with a 19-point advantage to the Mercedes boys of Sambamkid and gamerdabest. So unless Toro Rosso have an absolutely awful day, I think Toro Rosso, in your opinion, Jake, probably got it in the bag?
Yeah, I think so. I know Big C will be wanting to get some points today, and it's obviously both of them are going for the championship. So if anything were to happen to Louis or QPRVs, you know, Big C will be pushing his hardest to get into first. So I think Toro Rosso will bag this. I know Louis will obviously be going all out this race, and I'm sure Big C will be behind him. And if they're both still in the race, they'll be looking just to pick up the rest of the points.
Yes, Toro Rosso and Mercedes' recent form a bit too much for the Haas team, who put up a pretty good fight most of the season, Oogie and Jamie collectively, but they cannot win the Constructors' Championship now after the US Grand Prix last week. The rest of the Constructors' Championship, well, Ferrari looking good to take fourth. There's quite a tight group between Force India, Renault and Sauber. And then McLaren, Williams and Red Bull fighting to avoid the wooden spoon at the bottom. So, yeah, plenty to play for among the table and the driver's standings. So this particular circuit, which I'm going to try not to mention too many times because the stream might get blocked, as it did in F1 2016, is a 5.5 kilometer circuit. We're going to have 28 laps of this track. And, of course, we will have a 12-minute qualifying session first, which could well be key to the whole shape of the race. Now,
yeah.
So gamerdabest has shown amazing form in qualifying at times this season. I think he's taken more pole positions than anyone else. I think Jake, he will try and draw on those pole position record to get another one here to give him the best possible chance of winning the championship tonight, I would say.
Yeah, I think for Gamer, pole, nothing other than pole is an option. He'll want to get pole this race if he thinks he has any chance of taking the title, because I know Louis and Louis and Big C will have very good quality pace behind him, maybe even in front of him as well. Jamie, not so much. I know his qualifying pace isn't as good as the other three and against most of the grid, but we know his race pace is incredible, and he seems to, as I said, get under the radar, gets past everyone with no problems whatsoever. So hopefully for him, his consistency will show through. But yeah, Gamer looking to take pole today.
Yes, well, Big C and Jamie certainly have the experience advantage. They've both won races here in the past in this division, unlike the other two. And good evening to GameFreaker. Ashbest, this is Jake LFC. You may not recognise the voice because it broke a while ago. But it's, yeah, I was saying to Jake before the race, it was funny listening to the old streams when he had his sort of breaking voice. But I think it's probably for the best, at least as far as Jake is concerned.
Yeah.
So strategy-wise, Jake, you would say probably the leaders will probably be looking for one stop, but do you think anyone out there might try maybe going for an aggressive two-stop to avoid using the soft tyres, which are the slowest compound here, of course?
I would be slightly surprised if people did go for it. I know some in the grid might try it, ultra soft, super soft, ultra soft, however, which way you want to go. I imagine someone's going to try ultra soft, super soft. That seems to be a strategy people could try, but I know the super softs are would just die out towards the end of the race. So, yeah, possibly a two-stop for some, but I imagine a one-stop for the majority of the grid.
Yeah, well, if there's one person who can make the ultra soft, super soft strategy work comfortably, it's probably someone like Oogie, who has incredible tyre wear management, as we've seen many times in the past. And Jamie's tyre wear I've seen has been pretty good, especially in something like no assists, which he dominated back when that was run. Just having a look at the rest of the championship table, Sambamkid's in 5th and Cliffy in 6th, so there's a little battle for the proverbial best of the rest. And I think I will briefly say before we start the session, just a big thank you to the two admins of F1 and PSGL for allowing me to be the commentator of this league. It's been really fun, actually, lots of entertaining races. I don't think there's been any real dull races, except maybe Spain, but that's probably down to the nature of the track than the actual drivers. I think they weren't particularly entertaining across most of the leagues I remember. But
Louis has internet connection problems apparently, so I think that's who we're waiting for.
yeah.
It's a shame if he can't race today.
Well, it's only just gone 8 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm sure we can wait a bit longer for one of the title contenders. And incidentally, Nick Pine will be stepping down as one of the F1 admins this season, but he's done a superb job alongside Big C, making the league run smoothly. And overall, there's not been too much controversy. It has bubbled up in recent races, but overall, I think it's been fairly clean out there, wouldn't you say, Jake?
Yeah, hopefully it'll be clean. I know. I'm imagining people won't get too involved in the championship, so yeah, we'll see when we get to the race.
Yeah, so I don't think any of the drivers out of the top 4 want to be the guy who swings the championship in the worst possible way. But yeah, I'm just gonna have a look and see if there's anything going on here. There was a PSN update in the last few days, so it might be related to that.
Possibly. I know I had internet connection problems, and then when the update came around, it kind of sprung back to normal. So, could be a reason.
And good evening to Simo, who apparently he's on the train home. He's had a good drink with his work colleagues tonight. Hope you're not too drunk, my friend. You'll enjoy this race, which will get underway shortly. Hopefully, Louis can, aka QPR can sort out his connection problems. But in the F1 2016 era, saw some absolutely brilliant racing at this particular track, which it's kind of odd, really, when you consider the real life Abu Dhabi circuit more often than not doesn't bring up the best races. It's I wonder why that is. What do you think the reason is for the game version being much more entertaining than the real version?
I think obviously there could be some slight differences with the handling, but the dirtier in real life is very, very prominent, and I'm not surprised there wasn't barely any overtakes that race. In previous seasons, it has, or in before the V6 hybrids, it did okay, but you know, getting to this sort of new era, it's not been a great thing to look at. But on the game, people are more pushing more in the race and pushing more in quali, and people are more daring to make overtakes. So that could be one of the reasons why.
Yes, I mean it's. I guess also another factor is the fact that with equal performance, you don't have the performance difference that you have in real life, where generally a couple of teams dominate the entire race.
Yeah, that's true.
So the latest on Louis Gate, aka his internet problems, is that it is being sorted by his father, which is very nice. I hope everybody out there watching has done their Christmas shopping. Not many shopping days left before Christmas next week. And although I'm more focused on New Year, have to be said. And there is Louis, the final of our title contenders, has finally joined the lobby. So it looks like Shortbread is our only missing driver, although he did say he might join for the race if he gets back in time, so hopefully he does. 30 seconds to go then, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the qualifying session for the season finale of the PSGL F1 division. What are your predictions in the chat, guys? Who's going to get pole position? Your top three near the end of quali, let us know. And there is Remco, my resident stat man. Gamefreaker, I think your weather man duties can be retired. I think it's going to be assumed it's going to be a dry race. It would be absolutely extraordinary if it's a wet race, considering Abu Dhabi is statistically set up in the game to be impossible to have rain, but you never know with #Codemasters. So loading this magnificent facility. Expect most of the drivers will be thinking about ultra soft tyres. Maybe a few may think about going on the super softs to try something different with the one stop, which, as we discussed with Jake earlier, is what most of the drivers will be going for during the race. So fingers crossed we have no connection or any other shenanigans with the game. And as I discussed earlier, Remco is going to be updating the standings of the top four during the race at various times. So keep an eye on his contribution. Thank you very much for doing that, Remco. Did that once for Formula Performance finale a couple of seasons ago in F1 2016. Proved very useful for myself, considering all the action that was going on. If we have half the action that had, we're in for a treat. Just like the real life 2010 Formula 1 season, we have 4 drivers who can win the title tonight. And it looks like it's quite overcast at Abu Dhabi today for the qualifying. Of course, like Bahrain, it does become a night race, but it does start in dusk. So the lowering temperatures that Jake mentioned earlier might have an effect if people didn't factor that into their setups. So no one coming out yet, but we can hear the roar of those V6 hybrids as the qualifying gets underway for the final round of the F1 season. The last F1 race for this division of the year as well, before we head into 2018, which will be quite a new look grid, judging by some of the changes, but we won't discuss them, because it's all about focusing on F1.
XJackLacey's out on the track first.
Yes,
in the Ferrari.
Worth mentioning XJackLacey, his final race as the reigning PSGL F1 champion after his amazing late season form in the last season of F1 2016. never really got going in his tower defence, but I think he'll be happy that he won it last time, and he can build on some of the performances he's had this season. He's been on the podium in Spain, 3rd position there. So he'll just enjoy this race, and he may well play a factor in the title battle if he gets in some people his way. As perhaps will Greeny, who's still in the garage, who certainly got in the way of a few people last week, in good ways and in less so good ways. But one thing to consider, like the US track, the strict corner cutting rules can catch you out at this race. And I think one thing that often is forgotten is the sort of deadly nature of some of the curbs here. They have those sort of jagged edges up, which can really mess up your time if you run over those, especially the second chicane at the end of the first DRS straight. Came a crop at one of those yesterday and nearly lost the car, but luckily saved it.
So XJackLacey about to start. It's like the first one on the track, so we'll follow him round and come down the final corner.
We'll follow with Jack if you want to just take us through a lap off the circuit, Jake.
Yes, XJackLacey coming into turn 1 as a Williams just coming out the pits, brakes just after 100 metres, and it's a good exit out of turn 1. Into turn 2, swinging left and then right. He's on the track, doesn't lose the rear. XJackLacey will be providing great grip. Brake at 100 there, and down into 3rd for turn 4 and 5. And down into 2nd, the hairpin, trying to get a good exit out of there, and the highest possible speed we can get. Straight up into the RS there, up to 8th gear, wrapping out to 7th, quite long there, again. Braking at 100, down to just into 2nd, and trying to get a good exit out of the chicane, up into 4th out the corner, and we'll up in the RS once again. Coming down, this is a important corner, doesn't want to run wide or lock up, brakes at 100, gets down into 3rd, doesn't cut the corner, it's on the track, up to 4th, and pretty clean lap so far from XJackLacey. He's finding a good lap here for us to commentate on.
Absolutely.
Double shifts up into 4th gear straight away after a heavy braking zone. And it's allowed him to stabilise the car, begins to come out in the corner, doesn't run wide, keeps on the track, and he's final, into 4th, good exit there, and XJackLacey set 36.7.
Well, that's a fine start to qualifying then, into the 36s straight away, which we expected the F1 grid to be in. Jamie with a 1:37.338. His teammate going significantly faster than him, so Jamie won't be high up the grid with that time. You would suspect he'll have to go for another run somewhere. Yellow's in sector 3, some round wide somewhere.
Gamer sets the fastest lap, 36.2. What a lap from Gamer.
Yeah.
Puts him into P1.
And the 2 Toro Rosso drivers not able to get close to that so far. So that is a blistering time from the pole position specialist this season, gamerdabest.
By a significant amount, 4/10 to Louis. He'll be happy with that so far.
Yeah.
What's XJackLacey now? Moving up to, sorry. He's coming into the 3rd sector. Almost his career out of the exit back corner. Looking on this lap now. Just under 7 minutes to go. And then let's see what Greeny can do. Runs a tiny bit wide on the curve, just get a good exit, doesn't run wide there. And round the final corner, what's it going to be?
Oh, back end kicking out.
5th, 36.7.
Yeah, and one of the interesting parameters of this tyre battle is that, unlike the 2 Toro Rosso drivers, obviously they can't team order each other. There's no rear gunner action going on there because they've both got to go for it. Whereas gamerdabest can get help from Sambamkid, and Oogie, who's certainly no slouch, can give Jamie a hand at points during this race. Do you think that could have an effect on the final reckoning?
Yeah, quite possibly. I know Big C will be pushing hard at this race. If he doesn't win the title, at least he'll want to win the race. And he doesn't really want to support Louis, so they'll be battling despite what happens. Jamie, obviously, he's got Ugi, and he missed quite a few races this season, but from his early pace, he doesn't seem to have done too bad. Maybe Ugi can get involved, and obviously Sam. Again, Sam does have very good pace. This season has proved it, so we could see him up there and possibly challenging for a vote.
Well, Remco's just given us an in theory sort of updated standings. If qualifying were to be the race result, Gamer would take the championship by 3 points from Louis. Jamie would be on 91 points, Big C 80, Gamer 97, and Louis on 94. So still got another run left for all these drivers, but Gamer looks like the favourite to take pole position at this point after that excellent first run, even with the cooling conditions, which UK Tranquility mentioned in the chat earlier on, which is a very good point. Overcast conditions could have an effect on some of the tyre pressures, especially if they're set too low. And good evening to Parkway Drive, who's just joined, and Joel, who's away in Switzerland, missing the final race of the F1 season. Shame on you, Joel. No, I'm joking. I hope Switzerland's a beautiful country. One I hope to visit in the near future on my travels. So everybody in the pits except for MaxiLuca, who's on a lap. One of TUSZMUSZ, Pine and MaxiLuca, the three drivers who haven't set a time yet. So let's see what MaxiLuca can do, although judging by the sector 3, he's made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, coming back to the pits, just going to have a look and see the invalidations, as no one's on track at the moment. Only TUSZMUSZ got this and next lap invalidation, and, well, somehow he got 3 invalidations in one lap. That's impressive.
Jamie's already out on track, as well as Big C. Jamie being top of the championship. Big C in 4th, and currently in 4th and follow dying. He'll be, I think he'll be looking for pole today. I think this is important for him if he wants to win the championship.
3 of the 4 title rivals for tonight's race in the top 4 of the quali as it stands. Just trying to see if there's anyone who can sort of spoil the party of those 4. Jamie, you would think, needs to gain at least a couple of positions if he can. But as you mentioned earlier, Jake, his qualifying pace hasn't been particularly brilliant in recent races.
No. The game is out on track. And also Evie and Pine yet to settle that time. Green's out on track as well. It's going to be a enthralling, never used that word before, quali. 2 minutes left to go, let's see what.
Enthralling is not a bad word to use. So I think Jamie will be the first person to cross the line to start his flying lap. So we'll keep an eye on Jamie, and then I believe Gamer will be up next. Oh no, Big C rather. Yeah, Big C crosses the line, and then it will be Gamer, then it will be QPLB. So that's the order. We'll keep an eye on the top 4, and also the rest of the grid as they appear on the timing screens. And Big C running wide straight away at turn 1, so that wouldn't have helped his cause. Let's see if he can go faster than his previous best in sector 1. Does not appear to do so. So let's see what Jamie's doing. Jamie negotiating Iran, Sauber, bit of traffic, but I think Iran was getting out of the way, so it shouldn't affect him. Goes through the second chicane. Nice line through there. There's not a lot of grip off the racing line on that corner. If you take too wide a line, the back end's just going to stick out and lose bags of time. He's got more traffic ahead of him.
Yeah, the Williams doesn't seem to be getting out of the way. MaxiLuca.
Yeah. Oh. I think he was affected by the dirty air a bit. I think MaxiLuca kind of needs to, unless, well, I don't know if he's on a flying lap as well. Oh my goodness.
Best line into the corner, and he'd run wide. That's compromising so much.
Yep. No, Williams driver really hasn't helped him there. Jamie.
He'll have time for another lap, so.
He will. He will.
Oh, he's going into pit.
No, he's coming in. That's his qualifying over. So let's see what Big C's doing. He's coming through the final sector now. Can he improve from P4? Didn't think he had the best sector 1, but he can regain the time from the final 2 sectors. So he rounds the final corner. Big C crosses the line and still 4th. He's going on another lap for sure. He definitely is. Game of the best now. Provisional pole at the moment with a 1:36.267. That purple text is quite hard to read sometimes. Qualifying finish then, 12 minutes, they've flown by. So Jamie's settling for 8th, he'll be hoping that no one else leaps above him, but with the track evolution he might be losing a couple of places at least.
Around the final corner, Gamer. What will it be? It's a good X out of the corner and almost slides there. He
doesn't improve.
Let's have a look at Louis though.
Yeah. Oogie goes second. Brilliant lap from Oogie, right to the death. Less than 2.5 tenths away from Gamer's time. Pine up to 5th, knocking Big C down to the back of the 3rd row. So let's see what Louis can do. Can he go back above Oogie? He needs to find over 1.5 tenths. Sambam goes up to 3rd.
It's important for Gamer there. Louis can find it's only 2nd.
Less than 2 tenths though. XJackLacey puts it on the front row. Brilliant time. Greeny, the 2 Ferraris. Now what is Big C doing? Oh, Big C's lost it. He's lost it the final sector. And that's it for Big C. So Big C and Jamie dropping down the order. At this rate they'll be starting outside. Cliffy's on a lap still, and we know he's quick, judging by his results recently. And what does Cliffy do? Cliffy, I think, moved into the top 10, so I think Big C and Jamie will both start outside the top 10. Unbelievably. Well, this has really put the cat among the pigeons here. Big C and Jamie will have some overtaking to do. So here's our qualifying result. Game of the Best has a red shield behind him of XJackLacey and Greeny's Ferrari. Louis in 4th position, Oogie in 5th, the veteran Iran in 6th, Cliffy in 7th, Sambamkid in 8th, TUSZMUSZ in 9th and Pine in 10th. Very good performance from the guys on the 5th row. Big C will start in 11th with a free choice of tyres, as will Paudie. Jamie in 13th, the championship leader, has got a lot of work to do. Lordyboy in 14th, Gamefreakerin 15th, and MaxiLuca, the only driver not to set a time, at the back of the grid. Wow.
Yeah, this seems like Aaron with a 6th place. That is a great result for him. He's not had the best qualifying run this year, but applause to him as well. Big C 11th and starting on a fresh set of tyres, whatever tyres he wants.
Nearly forgot to skip that. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, they'll have fresh tyres, Big C and Jamie, and that could play in their hands. It will make the one stop easier. I suggest trying the stream on a different browser, Remco, if possible. So, the tension mounts then. The final start of this PSGL F1 season. Gamer will be on pole. The champion, XJackLacey, from last season, right alongside him. Looks a bit like real life this, a Mercedes and a Ferrari on the front row. 5 red lights then for Abu Dhabi. And away we go. Good start from Gamer, but XJackLacey I think got a slightly better start, but look at Louis behind him, challenging Gamer. No, he thinks better of it, just holds off for now. Gamer holds the lead. Top 4 not changing. Aaron up to 5th behind. Oh, there's a collision behind. Collision behind 2 Ferraris, and I think Louis hit the back of the Ferraris.
Louis caught up in the Ferraris.
XJackLacey, oh, it's calamity.
In the wall. TUSZMUSZ.
TUSZMUSZ.
Okay.
Oh my. Straight of that. Yeah, TUSZMUSZ. XJackLacey out of the race straight away.
Louis losing in many positions right now. And he's side by side with his teammate there. He's probably going to move out the way very soon.
Yeah, Big C up to 7th straight away from the back. Jamie up to 9th. So it looked like Louis went into the back. Whether one of the Ferraris broke early, I'm not sure. At that speed, I couldn't really tell. I'll have to look at it again. But Big C up to 7th, Jamie up to 8th. So 2 of the title contenders moving forward, one of them tumbling down the order. And certainly the man on pole position straight away. It's a Mercedes 1-2 at this point. Sambamkid up to 2nd, Cliffy up to 3rd. And I think I just saw a McLaren go off.
Cliffy gets a penalty there. This is a dream situation for Gamer now. All the hit, I mean, Louis is losing positions left, right, and centre now. And it was a massive crash. It looked like Jack lost the rear or did something wrong.
Jamie under attack for MaxiLuca. They touch. MaxiLuca got in the way of the Haas driving qualifying. Now trying to get in the way of his championship. By the looks of it, MaxiLuca moves up to 8th. But look at that, a 2.5 advantage for gamerdabest already.
Many people coming into the pits. Greeny into the pits. Lordyboy into the pits. Louis into the pits.
Cliffy as well.
Cliffy's in the pits as well.
Lots of wing changes going on.
XJackLacey in the wall there. Shame for him. He was in a great position, but look at Gamer now. Sam will be defending him as much as he can. And at the moment, I think Gamer will be winning the title if...
Yes. Jamie has to finish higher than this. gamerdabest in that first sector may have won the championship. Louis' chances of winning the championship has seemingly gone up in smoke in Japan, USA and this particular track. Too many incidents like this. He was leading the championship by 15 points from gamerdabest in terms of their position going into Japan a couple of races ago, and look how much it swung back in favour of other drivers.
If you just look at the gap to Louis to the leader Gamer, 40 seconds it is, that's how much time he's lost. Greeny 36 seconds behind, and he'll be, having to have a collision with his teammate as well. It must be more quickly than him. It seemed like XJackLacey may have had to brake in his corner, or he's losing the rear. Greeny went into the back of him, and Louis went into the back of Greeny, and then the whole brake race behind. Yeah. Looking like getting onto the win, but the only person really going to threaten him at this point is Big C, who's in 7 positions he's gained, MaxiLuca 9 positions gained, 5th other.
Yeah, there's been some crazy swings of position at the start of the race. I'm just looking at the start again on my phone, and it looks as though the 2 Ferraris are going down towards the end of sector 1, and yeah, it just looked like they bunched up and Louis just didn't see it in time, just slammed into the back of them, and that was it. XJackLacey went off the track and the other Ferrari got damaged as well. So if Ferrari were in the Constructors' Championship, that would have been an effective way by one driver to wipe out the Ferraris in one go, but if anything it's just wrecked Louis' title championship challenge here tonight.
Notice Louis has got soft tyres, Big C on the super softs. That will benefit all. So battle commencing, MaxiLuca on the back of behind. We don't have the DRS. Behind also does have the DRS, so it may be very difficult for MaxiLuca to get by. Maybe try and move into turn.
MaxiLuca does tend to be quite aggressive. He's on the super soft tyres as well, MaxiLuca, as is Jamie behind him, so strategy wise he's in a good position for a good haul of points, which he hasn't really done enough in recent races. He's had quite a few incidents, MaxiLuca. Started the season in such a brilliant fashion, but since then it's been nowhere near as good. Don't believe he's even been on the podium since then.
Yeah, Big C on the back of Edie. Edie does seem to have these occasional little bit as of yet. Game is still setting purple lap times, and I think once those tyres do go off, Big C will be looking to chase down those two guys.
He is.
Big C 7.5 seconds behind now. That is a big gap, and it's only the last 4 on the race.
Yeah, and Big C, just to remind people, needs to win this race to have any chance of taking the championship, and hope that all his other title rivals have disasters of races. But it was always going to be unlikely for him to win an 8th World Championship. But still a long way to go. Only lap 4 this season finale for PSGL F1 had a dramatic start, and I'm sure there's more dramatic action to come. We're going to switch now to the battle for 5th place. Nick Pine, with that McLaren having far more straight line speed than the real thing, is going to try and take it round the outside of Irin, who goes defensive. A veteran move for sure. And he cuts the apex and prevents Pine from getting through, so good defending. And MaxiLuca's touched. Oh no, he's touched Pine. Jamie gains a place, so he's up to 6th. I don't know what MaxiLuca was doing there. That was a ill-advised move, and he's just wiped Pine out. Pine will have to go back. He's lost half his wing. So MaxiLuca.
Oh, Big C's by. He looks like he's made a mistake, and now Big C can push and try and catch the two Mercedes who are leading the way. Sam only just up the road, and he'll be and it's his hardest against Big C to try and help game in the best way he can. Like to see what the thing is right now. Staying up to 6, he needs to finish 3rd if Gamer wins at this point. So
no, he needs. Yes, he does need to finish 3rd now, because if
Gamer just in the pits,
MaxiLuca had from that contact with Nick Pine, so that's going to promote Cliffy further up the order, who also had a lower wing change, and QPR, that may give him a chance to gain some places back, so don't rule him out yet. There's a long way to go in this race. Paudie up to 7th. So the main battle on track at the moment to see if Oogie, has he got the straight line speed to challenge Big C? Let's just see. I'm going to switch back to a battle between Jamie and Irin in a moment. No, he doesn't have the straight line speed, does it, Jamie? No, he doesn't have the straight line speed. But he's closing the gap to Irin. He needs a couple more places. You would think that Oogie would get out of the way of Jamie if he can get close enough to him.
Oh, he's got a penalty there, just saw him on. He's coming up from Lordyboy, and hopefully they're hearing with 2 different Haas. Greeny gained a couple of positions. He's on the ultra soft though. He's going to try an aggressive strategy here. Just noticed the gap between, or if Gamer was stuck it now, he'd come out in 7th behind Paudie, and there'd be a big gap behind him. So Gamer, if he can maintain that gap, then it won't be a problem for him at all. He just does not want to come out behind Cliffy or Greeny, who are on faster.
Yes, that would be an ideal situation for Gamer from a strategy point of view. Oogie's still keeping Big C honest. It's not like Big C's pulled away. They're catching Sambamkid at a rapid pace. Gap between Sambamkid and Big C now less than 1.5 seconds. Although you think Sambamkid will do his best to hold Big C up as much as he can for his teammate. And Jamie is now right on the back of Irin. Both these guys have tremendous experience at this level, and Louis, another penalty for him. Even if he could somehow get up to the front, I think those penalties rule him out anyway. So I think really we're down from 4 to 3 in terms of the title battle. Realistically, Jamie going through the apex of the hairpin, can he get good traction? Ultra soft tyres of Irin, which will be aging all the time against Jamie's relatively fresh super soft tyres. It's getting closer, and this should be a very comfortable DRS overtake for Jamie to move up to 5th. Locks his tyres. Now, can Irin will get DRS activation for the next straight. Can he come back at Jamie at all? Jamie not going defensive yet, but Irin, is he close enough? Will he think about a dive to the inside? No, Irin's too smart to make a ridiculous lunge like that. So Jamie, I think, has that move done. Paudie in 7th, so we got Cliffy in 8th, Greeny in 9th, and Lordyboy in 10th. And Louis catching up to the back of Lordyboy. He must be so frustrated at this point, the Toro Rosso driver. He was in a really good position qualifying, just needed to keep his head in the first lap and settle into the race. Oh, and Lordyboy climbs the curb, but somehow keeps the place. Let's see, let's go back to Big C, who's now caught up to the back of Sambamkid already. So Big C's race pace certainly is good enough to win this race if he can somehow get to gamerdabest, because after all, last week gamerdabest looked like he was going to win the US Grand Prix until he pitted, then he got caught up in a lot of traffic. So far from over, lap 7 of this finale. What's your impressions of the race so far, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, so unnatural, especially at the start. Big C got there at the top there. Doesn't look like he's gaining much. So what I was doing, similar setup race. This is important to game it out. Sam needs to hold up, try and hold up Big C as much as he can. The game needs to be completely safe. Game of were to hit now would come out on Paudie again. He's on soft compound tyres, so at the moment Gamer in a comfortable position, and if Sam can help him dig it out, then doesn't need to worry about taking.
Yes. It looked like Sambam and Big C had very similar straight line speed. Yellow's in sector 3. Just checking on Gamer because he was going through sector 3, but he's okay. That would be a massive twist if something were to happen to him at this point. Sambam really struggling through sector 3, which would suggest Sambam pits. First of the Mercedes to do so.
That releases Big C, but Luke's got another penalty there. Big C now will have to try and go after Gamer. Sam's probably going to go for soft compound. Yes, he doesn't suit it.
No soft, yeah. Yes, something that I've noticed in the game after the recent patch that seems to happen, a weird thing. But at least you can switch cars after the finish. So game is fixed, boys. Jamie up to 4th. But he's still
comes out. Sam's going to come out in 7th place. That's important. He doesn't want to be behind Cliffy. He's on the super soft tyre, and then Green is on the supers.
No, Sambamkid definitely on for a really good podium. And given the struggles of Louis, Mercedes do have half a chance of winning the Constructors' Championship at this point, but something probably major would have to happen to Big C. There's no telemetry, unfortunately, because Simo is not actually around at the moment. He's on a train somewhere. So latest championship standings, Gamer will win the championship by a single point. On 97 to Jamie's 96, Big C on 84, Louis on 82, who's just got into the points incidentally, having passed Lordyboy last. Greeny recovering, he's gone for the ultra soft, so he'll be pitting fairly soon. He's been on those a while. Now, Oogie can probably go a bit longer on the ultra softs, but now his teammate is beginning to close in on him, so we'll certainly see. Yeah, Gamer pits, brakes hard to avoid any sort of penalty. Will Big C? Yeah, Big C of course will carry on because he's on the super softs. So he goes for the soft tyres, of course. One-stop strategy. So where will Gamer come out? Should comfortably be ahead of his teammate. He'll want to be ahead of Paudie.
Now, he'll definitely want to be ahead of Iran. He doesn't want to be stuck behind Iran at this point. Iran now coming through this tight section. Comes up just behind him.
Oh dear. Iran is a very difficult driver to get past, and I don't think Gamer wants to see a Sauber. He got stuck behind a Joel Sauber Japan, remember, for a lot of laps and lost a ton of time. Are we about to see history repeat itself at another track? Another Sauber blocking a Mercedes fairly, but costing Gamer a lot of time. So Big C leads this race, 1.6 second advantage. And we've got yellows in sector 1. MaxiLuca out of the race. He's crashed at sector 1. Similar position. Well, he's obviously lost it out of 3 and just flown off the circuit on the soft cold tyres. He can't push flat with those immediately. You have to give them a chance, and that's the end result. Another retirement for MaxiLuca. That, I believe, is his 5th retirement of the season. So nearly half the races he's failed to finish. You can't win championships with a record like that. So at the moment, Jamie, as it stands, can win the championship as it stands, but of course he has not pitted, neither has Big C. But now, Gamer on the back of Iran. This is a crucial moment in his race. If he can get past Iran quickly, then he'll be absolutely fine. 5 of the top 6 have not pitted yet. Gamer, the only one in the top 6 who has.
Gamer only 12 seconds behind. He's losing slightly. quite a bit of time with the guy here. Slight understeer there coming to turn 2, turn 3. I think he'll get him on the straight with him. And Aaron now probably doesn't want to be holding Gamer up, but he's always reminded
Gamer. Oh, he tries to get the car in front of Aaron to make it easier, but he should have the slipstream. Don't think Aaron's going to have any answer for Gamer. Straight line speed here and much fresher tyres. Oh, they get very close.
There's a tap there from Gamer on Aaron. Gamer's going to take the position. Aaron may try and take behind him. The next DRS straight, Aaron now can get a good exit out of that corner. He is on the ultra soft tyres, which must be dead by now.
Yeah, 10 laps of those. I think I could tell from that corner he didn't really have the traction that Gamer has. So Gamer gets the job done, back up to 4th. But now, Jamie and Big C will stay along, but Gamer can really take Jamie and Big C out of the equation if he can undercut them massively. I doubt he'll be stopping again.
Now, if you look at the gap between Big C and Sam who pitted a couple laps, lap 8, sorry. It will be important for Big C if he wants to get out ahead of him. Sam must not make any mistake if he wants to get back ahead of Big C. Yeah. Big C being on the super softs, it will be important for him. That's really one of the reasons why I heard that, but
Aaron pits from 5th position, so that will promote Sambamkid, upper place, and several others. But decent first stint from Aaron, gaining place from the start. We have to mention Paudie as well, starting from near the back. He's on the soft tyres, and he's running in a very commendable 5th at the moment, McLaren driver. He's avoided all the incidents we saw early on in the race.
Aaron had a wing damage, so he's having his wing cages on the super softs now. I don't see him going to the end, but we'll see. Really up to 8, he has the fastest on the race, 0.1.
Yeah, that's it's interesting. That would explain why Aaron was so easily passed by Gamer who had wing damage.
It's difficult to see if Louis goes to the end. I mean, he did hit very lot more on the soft. It could be possible for him. It may be his only option to at least, have a go and still trying to get the title, but
I think to be honest, I think for Louis to win the championship now, he'll need some retirements from his title rivals. Because I don't think even if he can go to the end, his tyres will be so shot he'll have no pace compared to the others around him. That's the main problem he'll have. So Oogie 2.2 seconds away from Big C. Jamie hasn't really caught to the back of Oogie. Oogie's really kept those ultra softs very nicely. Pits on lap 11 as lap 12 begins. Jamie moves up to 2nd. Gamer is certainly on the pace. He's not that far from Jamie. Just trying to see what the gap is.
There's a battle between Pine and TUSZMUSZ top of their food. Pine's going to go down the inside into the heavy braking zone. It's a good move from him. Runs in wide. Takes the position. Gaming is going to go round the outside of TUSZMUSZ, and TUSZMUSZ has lost 2 positions there. What a move by Pine. Very brave, and Gaming trying to get through there, and he does very well to avoid any contact. Very difficult in that third sector to do any moves, so
a move of pure frustration from Pine, given the way that MaxiLuca pushed him off the track. But he's still in 12th. Aaron is closing onto the back of Lordyboy very rapidly. This could be our next on-track action. GamingAlimonda now only 4.5 seconds behind Jamie. And Jamie and Big C haven't pitted yet, and neither has Paudie. So let's see what Aaron can do. So I wonder if Jamie's trying to get those super softs really far into the race and finish on the ultra softs. So I think if he's on the softs, he's going to be quite a distance behind GamingAlimonda.
Aaron getting a lot in that heavy braking zone, and he's going to get a good exit out of the corner. He's going to be on the back of Lordy there, yeah. Aaron, unfortunately, he had wing damage, and he lost a couple of places for him.
Yellow's in sector 2. Don't know who that was. Lunge
down the inside.
And a brilliant move from Aaron. Late on the brakes. Lordyboy maybe wasn't expecting that. He knew he was there, but that was expertly done by Aaron. A veteran move. Former PSGL F1 champion, of course. And And he shows out his done. Without that wing damage, who know where Iran could be at this point in the race. So, run down the order. Big C leads by 7 seconds to Jamie. We've Gamer the best in third. So 3 of the 4 title rivals in the top 3. Paudie in 4th, Sambamkid in 5th, Cliffy in 6th, Oogie in 7th, Greeny in 8th, QPR Beast in 9th, and Iran, as we just saw, moved up to 10th. So Paudie, Jamie and Big C, the only 3 who haven't stopped now in this race. It looks like most people, as we suspected, going for the one-stop strategy.
Only battle on track at the moment. Fine and Gamefreaker trying to get the runs a bit wider and get the penalty for it. These two, we're trying to have some fun now. It's final race. We've got nothing to play for, so these two, going back to Iran's move, probably one of the best I've seen all season for him, and his experience definitely showing, and put his name in the lights up there.
Oh, and he went on the throttle too much and into the wall. Gamefreaker promised to become a Marcus Ericsson fan if Big C won the championship today. Well, frankly, it was Marcus Ericsson-like driving at that point. He won't be happy about that. So it's another disaster for the Renault driver. It's not been a happy end to the season for him. TUSZMUSZ in the pits for another wing change. TUSZMUSZ has put on the intermediate tyres. What's he doing?
Yeah. He's going to have a little bit of fun on his own. Hopefully he won't block anyone.
Yeah, well, if he does, yeah, well, I think, frankly, that is not the way you want to do it. Yes, you're having a bad race, but either retire or just carry on and maybe, put fast tyres on, set a fastest lap.
According to what I'm looking at right now, he's on ultra softs, but he's going very slow, so I think it's just a lap.
Yeah, maybe, well, he's on inters on my screen, so... Well, it looks like he's got no grip at the moment. There's a battle going on ahead of him. Is that Pine? No, that's Paudie. No, I saw a battle. Ah, here we go. Oogie is pitted. I missed that. Sorry about that. He's on the back of Cliffy. Cliffy had that amazing debut run, winning in Canada, second in Britain with that probably the best wheel-to-wheel battle with Ollie of the season at Britain, an absolute PSGL classic. And then a race victory at Belgium as well. He was an outsider to win the championship at that point. Then he had 2 non-finishes in a row. But Cliffy, I think he'll be pretty happy with the results he got in his debut F1 season. And he'll certainly be a potential contender for next season. So we'll keep an eye on Oogie's battle with that. Sambamkid now getting to the back of Paudie as well. Yellows in sector 2. Look, something's happened possibly to
there's a collision between Lordyboy and TUSZMUSZ. Oh wait, no, that's okay. That's TUSZMUSZ just off. Lordyboy must have crashed on his own, or maybe because he's just behind Pine. Maybe they had a collision themselves. Not sure what's going on there. TUSZMUSZ though going round.
Close span on track. It's between the Haas driver Oogie. Needs to get back. Oh, he's going for a dive at the penultimate corner. That's an unusual place, but he gets it done. Wow, aggressive stuff from Oogie. I don't think Cliffy didn't see that coming. I don't think he would have expected a move there. Got a poor exit on the penultimate corner, and Oogie's like, yep, sniffs half a chance and gets it done. Oogie still in the fight for a podium, and he's now going to be chasing after it. I'm surprised he's gone onto the ultra softs. Actually, I thought he'd be going for a one-stop, but he's going to have some fun, I guess. And maybe get out of the way of Jamie's race, perhaps, by doing that as well. Sambamkid. Yeah, well, Codemasters. Well, I'd be surprised if he wasn't on the supers, because in terms of strategy, he usually gets it spot on. So Sambamkid closing onto the back of Paudie. And Gamer is battling with Jamie through the chicane. He suddenly gained a lot of time. That's why I didn't notice it until now, but just caught the second half of it. Sambamkid's passed Paudie incidentally, so Jamie defending from gamerdabest. 8.8 second gap between Jamie and Big C now. Neither of these two are pitted. Cliffy picks up a 3-second penalty. So Gamer, huge moment for his championship now. If he wins the race, Jamie will definitely have to finish in the top 3.
Oh.
So,
Paudie has been passed by Sambamkid and Sambamkid before. Yellow flag in sector 1. That is, again, TUSZMUSZ is on supers now. He's doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah, Oogie.
He's actually catching him up, so...
Yeah, Oogie sets a fast lap of the race, did think like his pace would be bristling. So, helicopter view then, as Jamie defends from gamerdabest. Two of the best drivers of this season going into combat. Old super softs of Jamie, 16 lap old, against the soft compound of gamerdabest.
And Cliffy's into the pits. Aaron gave the position, but so does GBRB3.
And now Jamie goes defensive, forcing Gamer to the outside. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Jamie gets the braking, then leaves a little gap, and Gamer, he could see the gap closing, and he wisely took his foot off the pedal because that collision was inevitable if he'd kept going at that trajectory. Knows that Jamie will have to pit at some point, doesn't need to take the almighty risk. That was smart driving from gamerdabest there.
Yeah, I had to go over that big mountain on the curve, and probably lost him a little bit of time with back on Jamie already. So Jamie must be going up at this point, and I imagine Big C Jamie will pit very soon.
Yeah, Big C 60 laps, come to the end of lap 16, and he pits. Big C pits from the lead of the race. I'd assume he's going to go for it all and go onto the ultra softs. Will Jamie do the same? Yes, he does. Gamer takes the lead of the race. So let's see what Big C goes on to. I would imagine it would be the ultra softs. Or is it the softs? Yeah, ultra soft tyres. Has to be. Sambamkid will leapfrog both of these guys, so they'll have to get past Sambamkid. So it's looking really good for gamerdabest now. Jamie went on to ultra softs as well. The Big C and Big C and Jamie though, ultra softs to the end of the race. They will have mighty pace in theory.
Oh, and James just come out ahead of Louis there, but I think Louis has to say I got quite a penalty, so I think I would rule Louis out at this point. I mean, you never know, anything can happen, but I would personally rule.
Everybody, Paudie still going. Lap 17, I'd imagine he'd be pitting very soon, but I think Jamie will probably be hoping that McLaren is out of the way very soon. A 3-second penalty for TUSZMUSZ. So,
something to look at. I mean, Jamie 3 positions off 3rd place, and that's what he needs. So, he's on the super softs, and he should be quicker. Paudie yet to pit.
I tell you what, the gap between Big C and Gamer is not actually that high. If he can get past Sambam quickly, he can still win this race. You have massive tyre advantage at this point. Sambamkid's got to try and hold back Big C if he can. Jamie still has a chance, because if Big C gets past Oogie and Sambam, Oogie will probably get past Sambam because of his tyre advantage. So what we could have is a situation where Jamie, if he can get to the back of Oogie, Oogie will move aside from him, and down the inside. He's done it again. He's done it again at corner 21.
Sam's going to have to defend here. Big C looking to make a move. This is impossible. Big C doesn't make a caught up. They missed too much. Sam's
and he's forced him off. Can Big C take them both? Big C, can he take them both?
The inside. And Sam has to put the corner slightly.
And he's forced Oogie off. Big C has taken both of them. He's taken both of them, taking advantage of their little contact, and it just glitched for a second. So Oogie's definitely on the super softs. That's lost a lot of time, and that will put give Jamie half chance. He's got to get a move on. Lap 18 of this race. What an opportunistic move from Big C, just expertly driving. He can win this race, but he can't win the championship as it stands, because gamerdabest doing enough. Jamie has to finish 3rd now to take the title away from gamerdabest. Big C can certainly win this race.
Yeah, that was so important for the two to get past both of them after PG7 very aggressively down the inside there. We made it work for a moment, and then Sam came back at him. And,
it could so easily have been a massive 3-car collision. Fair play to all 3. They just about kept it on the road without any major contact. So big credit to those three. That was a tense moment with Big C using all that experience from winning those 7 titles to just stay out of the way. And he's now reduced the gap to 8.3 seconds. He wants to win this race, even if he doesn't win the championship. Yellow's in sector 2. Paudie pits, that will promote Jamie up to 5th. So Jamie simply has to pass Sambamkid and get past his teammate as well to win the championship.
Jamie's got the passes off the race there. He's got the page, Louis up to 6th both there.
Lordyboy retires from the race. Let's see what happened to Lordyboy. Did he crash? Yeah, he's crashed. That is somewhere in sector 2. Can't tell, unfortunately, from that camera angle. Wait a minute. Yes, towards the end of sector 2. That's an unusual place to crash. So Jamie up to 5th. And now the gap between Gamer and Big C now only 7.5 seconds. He is cutting through Gamer's advantage. Now, of course,
Gamer we wanted he's like to go a little bit quicker because if Big C can catch him at the end of passing, it may be at risk of losing the championship to Jamie. Jamie's only 5th. I would like to know if Gamer finished 2nd, where would Jamie have to finish?
I think he'd have to. Well, Gamer is 7 points behind Jamie at the moment, so at the moment he wins the championship unless Jamie finishes on the podium. But if he finishes 2nd, Jamie's currently in 5th, so I believe that if Jamie finished 4th, he would take the title. 2nd. No, actually, no, Gamer, it simply has to win this race. If he drops the 2nd, Jamie takes it, even if he finishes 5th. Because Gamer needs to get 7 points difference on Jamie to take the title, which he comfortably has at the moment. But given the way that Big C is cutting through his advantage, it's going to be anything but comfortable. At this rate, he'll be on the back of Gamer with a couple of laps to go. So this championship is certainly going down to the final few corners. If it continues like this,
Jamie doesn't need to worry about anyone behind him because he's got a comfortable gap there. Got to worry about Sam, whose teammate is in 1st. Sam will be defending for his own teammate there, and
yep.
I imagine he'll be kind of the bridge between Jamie getting into the podium if he can get past Sam. But yeah, Big C closing the gap. Not as much as I thought he would. The gap is coming down, and Gamer does have a penalty, 3-second penalty to bear in mind, so that will not help him at all.
No, I mean that could be the critical moment when Gamer got that penalty earlier in the race. Jamie is now close to within less than 2 seconds. Sambam's going to be on really old soft tyres by the end of the race.
Just to point out, Big C does also have a penalty, so it'll be, at the moment it's a straight fight whether if Big C can catch him.
So Sambam needs, if he can get past Sambam, then you would think Oogie would move aside for Jamie as well, which would be, they're not in the Constructors' Championship fight, so the team orders would make absolute sense, but you would think Jamie wouldn't want to win the championship that way. But I'm sure anyone in their position would do the same thing. But getting past Sambam, who once again has had a very good race here today, finished 3rd last week in the USA. At times he's had excellent performances, just not consistently. If he could get consistency, Sambam is definitely someone who could challenge for the F1 title in the future. But Sambam didn't get a very good sector 1. Jamie closing nearly within DRS range. Paudie setting the fast lap of the race for McLaren. 130 into the 138s we go. 5.3 the seconds of the gap, but this is the critical battle at the moment. Iran has just got past Louis for 6th, so Iran storming through the field of that windshield. Iran would probably be in.
So if he goes down inside of Louis, and Louis almost makes a mistake there.
I'm going to stick with the battle for Jamie, because now Jamie within DRS range of Sambamkid. Sambamkid will have to go defensive immediately. Yes, he turns the wheel to the left to take the left side of the track. Jamie's got plenty of laps to get this move done on much fresher tyres, so he doesn't have to go for a lunge immediately. He's just going to stick behind him.
This is in his hands now. If he can get past Sam, a simple move on the straight, then he's won the title.
And now Louis DRS defending from the Renault of Cliffy. for 7th position. Aaron's got past already, and I think you would think Cliffy with the tyre advantage will get past. And oh, he's going down for a move into this section. Oh, and they nearly touch. Louis doing well to keep on the outside. Greeny's right there as well. I really want to keep.
On the autosofts, you need to watch out for him because he's not shy of a move.
No, we know that. Greeny's best result, a 2nd place in Belgium earlier in the season. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're about to reach the boiling point, and Jamie ever closer to the back of that Mercedes Championship. He's come close in the past, Jamie. His connections let him down. Will his racecraft let him down instead as he fights for his first ever F1 crown? Cliffy gets a 3-second penalty. So now, he was sort of right on the back of Sambam in terms of DRS. Now, this is the first time he's really had a chance to be this close with both DRS zones. Can he get the move done? Straight line speed looks very similar. 4.2 seconds now, the gap between the top two. Lap 22. Oh, Jamie goes for a lunge on the better tyres.
Sam makes a mistake. Sam's going to keep the position though. Jamie will get a good exit there. And this should be easy for Jamie if Sam doesn't defend the inside, which it looks like he is.
Yes, it's very for his teammate. If Jamie moves into 4th, he'll be a point behind Gamer in terms of the championship. It goes dive on the outside. And he's got the better traction, and he's through. Massive move for Jamie there. TUSZMUSZ gets another penalty, but Jamie now only a point within the championship. He's got to catch up to Oogie.
Oh, Greeny goes down the inside and Louis and takes the position from him. From Greeny, and now he's on the back.
Yeah, I wish we could keep an eye on this, but the championship battle is so crucial now. And I'm just trying to see now. Big C can see Gamer for the first time on the main straight. Less than 4 seconds between the top two. Jamie's got to catch up to his teammate. Will Oogie move aside for Jamie to win championship? But they can't do it at the moment because Sambam's right there. It's got to be a bit more of a gap. Aaron now, look at this massive midfield scramble. Aaron holding up Cliffy and Greeny. All of these drivers have been on the podium this season.
Train 5 here, Aaron leading the way with Cliffy just behind. GamingAlimonda, Louis and Paudie. Greeny gets a penalty there, cut in the corner.
Let's go on board with Aaron and just take a look at this train behind him. He's got number 43 Cliffy, 2-time race winner this season, trying to make a move
to the outside. And Aaron cuts him off the
big car at the corner by Cliffy, and now allow Greeny maybe to get around on the outside of the hairpin to get better traction. Paudie's on the ultra softs as well, so we'll go back to the main view. 4.8 second gap between Oogie and Jamie. 3.6 second gap between the top two. Now can Cliffy make a move? Aaron goes to the inside as you would expect him to do. Cliffy goes late on the brakes. Squeeze around it, and Aaron squeezes him off. And he'll get another penalty, and now Greeny will have an attack. And look at that, behind Paudie and Louis alongside each other as well. This is fantastic midfield action. Around the outside, oh, and he squeezes off another car. Wow. Well, I think Greeny should be given. I think Cliffy and Greeny should be given the place, but I know they were squeezed off. But even so. Well, that's kind of a shame it wasn't done cleanly, but let's focus. It's now 3.2 seconds between the top two, but I don't think Big C is closing. Yeah, Louis ghosting it. Is he giving up the ghost, so to speak, on his championship bid? Now Greeny. Jamie 3.3 seconds behind Oogie. He needs to get that 3rd position to win the championship. 2.8 seconds now. The gaps between the top two and the top three, the 3 and 4 rather, more or less similar. But we're just going to stick with this battle between Greeny and Cliffy for now, just to see what happens. And also Aaron under attack from the McLaren of Paudie. I'm not sure.
Jamie's not far from the penalty. Louis retires, that's him out of the championship.
Yeah, a sad end to Louis' championship. He's had a superb season overall. 2 victories in Singapore and Russia, and especially the beginning of the season where he led the championship. But he will look back on these last 3 races
Paudie trying to make a move in Aaron. Aaron defends well. Paudie on the other side. This should be easy for him, but Aaron's trying to get out of the car if he can.
Yeah, Aaron's done some very, very aggressive defending. Paudie around the outside, and Aaron squeezes off yet another car. Well, I think slightly naughty defending from Aaron, I have to say. That's a few times he's just squeezed another car off the track. That one in particular. So Jamie now 1.8 seconds. He's got much better tyres than Oogie. Some cynics would say Oogie's slowing down for his teammate, and to be honest, if they're in their position, that's exactly what teammates should be doing for each other. Game of the Best doing enough to win this race. Lap 25 of this season finale. Had a dramatic start where the two Ferraris and the Toro Rosso QPR collided, according to some observers. xJackLacey got it wrong in that corner and slammed on the brakes, which collected his teammate and ended Louis' championship bid effectively in the first sector.
Oh, and there's Oogie. He's letting Jamie pass, and this is a position for Jamie.
He's letting Jamie pass. He's letting him pass, and that could be it. I'm sure the Haas team talked about this before the race, and they've been able to do it, and you know, completely fairly in terms of the title battle, because it is a team sport, Formula 1 after all. It's not about the individual. But Big C within 2.4 seconds. Gamer may not hold on to the lead anyway. We may still get a battle for the lead at the end. So at the moment, Jamie on course for his first F1 Championship. Unless something calamitous happens to him. Sambamkid.
Oh, Aaron and Paudie again. Aaron takes the inside this time. Doesn't let Paudie pass.
Yeah, I think Aaron will have to think about some sort of lunge somewhere unexpected just to get that Sauber out of the way. Very robust defending from the PSGL veteran.
This is the only battle we have at the moment, although Pixie is gaining slightly on Gamer. Not sure if it's be enough by the end of the race.
No, he's got 3 laps to get into DRS range. I thought he would be on him with a couple to go. But Oogie doing a real job for the team. He's going to sacrifice what would be a very deserved podium spot for his teammate, a bit to win the championship. Greeny still challenging Cliffy for 6th position, although with all the penalties going on, I'm not sure where Greeny will end up. Cliffy's got quite a few penalties as well, has a big tyre advantage. So 3.3 second gap. Game of the Best doing enough to win the race, but not to win the championship. Jamie in position to take the title. This 4-way title decider has had quite a few twists and turns, but ultimately it may come down to a brilliant piece of teamwork from Oogie to give Jamie the championship. But it's not over until the checkered flag.
Paudie again on the back of Aaron. If he's going hammer and tongue.
Yeah, not close enough at the moment. Both McLaren's on for a double point score. TUSZMUSZ way down. Penultimate lap then, 2.1 seconds the gap between Gamer and Big C. I don't think we're going to see a battle for the lead, unfortunately. I assumed Jamie and Oogie are in communication about penalties in case Oogie has to suddenly back off or whatever. Sambamkid just couldn't keep Jamie behind him. That was the moment where Jamie won the championship, it seems. But it is perhaps quite fitting that the top 3 are 3 of the drivers who have really lit up this championship this season, who will be on the podium. Big C
all in the battle for the championship. He provided great racing all season. Big C championship didn't get off to a great start until he pulled through, and Gamer also having missed 1 or 2 races, but Jamie overall being the most consistent.
He has been very consistent, Jamie, for sure. He's the only driver on the grid, unless something happens to him, who would have scored points in every single race, which is a very impressive statistic given how ferocious the competition in this division has been. I think Big C's Ultra Softs ultimately have faded now. I think he's dropping back a little bit. But he's given it a real go, but he'll probably look back on that qualifying where it made it too difficult for him, and obviously the drivers around him. It was always going to be difficult for Big C to win his 8th title. He needed a bit of a miracle and to win this race, but he's given it a good go. Final lap then of this race. Gamer heads into turn 1. For the final time. He's done everything he could possibly do. Brilliant pole position, led from the start. No real issue in terms of traffic, got past those cars. But unfortunately, when you're leading a race like this, there's nothing you can do about what's going on behind. And Jamie has done exactly what he needed to do. Put himself in a position where he could get past his teammate. It was never going to make it difficult for him. It would be absurd to think otherwise, because they're good teammates, as we've seen in the past. So we're on board with Jamie, who exits the hairpin, riding up this DRS straight. No pressure on him. Probably can't believe that it's fallen into place like this. But the championship battle clearly was set up for him very nicely after the events of the US and Japanese Grand Prix recently. TUSZMUSZ with another penalty, although at this point it doesn't really matter. See if there's any other battles. Greeny can't seem to get past Cliffy. Iran and Paudie still going bad, and Iran going on to... Will Paudie just go for a lunge down the inside? Might as well. Last lap of the race. GamingAlimonda entering the final corners rather, of this track. Through turn 20. And a very familiar sight. A Mercedes winning at Abu Dhabi in brilliant style. Big C takes 2nd position, but here he is then. The Haas driver Jamie, he's come close so many times in the past, and perhaps there is not a more deserving champion than Jamie. And by a single point, he will take the PSGL F1 Championship. An amazing achievement. Oogie finishes 4th, Sambamkid a brilliant 5th, Cliffy, no idea where he'll finish for all the penalties, he finishes 7th, Greeny takes 6th, Iran takes 8th. Let's go on board with Jamie then. Enjoying this moment, goes through Big C's car who appears to run out of fuel. To enjoy the moment. An amazing season that Jamie's had. He's not always been on the podium, but he's got the points when he needed to. But it's been a titanic title battle, but it is finally over, and Jamie takes the title. Something he may not have expected at the beginning of the season, but he thoroughly deserves it. But all of the title contenders who could win this certainly deserve plaudits as well, because they have made this a fantastic season. So incidentally, Paudie couldn't get past her in the end. 7th for Iran, 8th for Paudie, Pine in 9th, so a good result for McLaren. Cliffy, for all his penalties, finished 10th in the end. He might get some of those removed, but probably pointless. So TUSZMUSZ hasn't finished, so is he doing some donuts? No, he's just taken forever to finish. He does some weaves and does a nice little crash across the line, so that is it. And we're going to have our final podium of the season. Mixed feelings for GamingAlimonda. We will speak to all 3 of them shortly on the podium, but he'll be pleased with another victory. His 4th of the season. He will certainly go into the next campaign, wherever he may be, with plenty of confidence. The most wins of anyone. Big C 2nd. But there's Jamie, the Welsh flag flying proudly, spraying the champagne as he takes the World Championship for Haas F1. So, final combination of the result then. GamingAlimonda and Big C finishing in the top 2. They both had 3-second penalties. The 2 Haas drivers, as ever, smooth on the wheel, no penalties. 3rd for Jamie, taking the championship. Oogie in 4th, Sambamkid in 5th, Greeny in 6th. May have well been on the podium if he hadn't had that incident on lap 1. Iran, who knows where he would have been without that wing damage. He showed good pace today. Some aggressive defending him in 7th, Paudie in 8th, Hein in 9th, Cliffy in 10th. Spirit fought for QBR Beasts. Louis, you know, great qualifying, but it all went wrong for him straight away. The last 3 races he'll want to forget because he could have won this championship. But now, final standings then. Thanks once again to Remco for doing that. Jamie on 98 points, Gamer on 97, Big C finished the season on 84 points, leaping above his teammate, 82 points. But incidentally, one thing I forgot to say is that Toro Rosso took the Constructors' Championship, so big congratulations to Big C and Louis on taking the Constructors' Championship. Well deserved, very consistent results from both of them for most of the season. So, I'm going to quit this and I'm going to get the top 3 into the podium. And I hope everyone has really enjoyed that race. Some might say slightly anticlimactic feeling, but I don't agree. I think that was a worthy championship win. So I'm just going to invite the top 3. One moment, guys. So Jake, your initial thoughts on that race? Let's just make sure I have the right one up. Right then, while we wait for Gamer, let's start with the man of the moment, Jamie 1995, or whatever your name is. You are the PSGL F1 champion. Share us your initial reaction.
What the hell? To be honest, I mean, you know, after the way Corley went and the carnage of lap 1, I never expected this would happen at the end of it. So yeah, I'm just speechless right now.
Yes, I mean, there were quite a few twists and turns. I mean, were you in communication with Ugi throughout the race in terms of the strategy?
I wasn't in communication with him during the race, but we discussed what we would do before it, so yeah, I mean the plan was that we would pit around lap 10 and 11 if we both started on the Ultras, but obviously that went out the window after I was blocked in quality, so yeah, you know, we went our separate ways, and once I finally got to 4th, a bit of a aggressive move on Sambamkid on it. I was just hoping that he would see me eventually and do what he said he would, and thankfully he did what any faithful teammate would do in my situation.
Well, next we'll speak to gamerdabest, who did everything he possibly could today. Pole position, race victory, but not quite enough gamerdabest on this occasion, having won back-to-back F2 championships, but you must be pretty proud of your performance today.
Yeah, well, first of all, well done, Jamie. Do what you needed to do. Top drive all season. Yeah, gave it everything I could possibly today. Just wasn't to be. Went round the first couple of corners, saw the 2 Ferraris crash into each other. Sam got to second. I thought, wow, okay, this is on here. And then, of course, that let Big C and Jamie gain a hell of a lot of positions, which didn't help. But then again, with Sam getting up, I guess it kind of helped. But yeah, they made their way through, got onto the Ultras. I saw Big C 9 or so seconds behind on the Ultras. I thought he was going to have me, but thankfully, yeah, gave it everything I could to keep him behind. And then 3 or 4 laps on the end, saw Jamie pop up P3. That was the end of that one.
Yes, and we're joined by Big C, who continued his extremely strong end to the season with yet another podium, 2nd position today. Obviously, winning the championship and your 8th crown would have been highly unlikely, but again, another solid performance from you today, Big C.
Oh yeah, I'm delighted to come home with 2nd. I mean, yeah, the qualifying was legit. You know, I was struggling in practice, so to qualify 11th, yeah, I was quite happy to get fresh tyres, and obviously the start kicked off, and yeah, I think the pace was, you know, average. I thought 2nd was quite on the card, so I got past Ugi, then yeah, I appeared. I think Jamie and Gamer was battling a bit, so I knew I had a chance on the ultra softs. I had a penalty, so I always knew the win wouldn't be possible. But yeah, my pace, quite frankly, was abysmal. I think it was, midfield pace today. I mean, if I had Greeny or Louis' pace, I think I could have easily took the win today, but I didn't have the pace. So yeah, to take P2, and I'm not too far to lead the championship. Yeah, I've missed 2 races. To be honest, I've sacrificed my season at times to help Louis to the championship, and I've ended up beating him. So I don't think I'm in my peak form anymore. I don't think I'm as good as I was, but I can still fight for titles. So I think Game was fantastic. Jamie's very consistent, and I've still finished near the top. So yeah, all in all, happy, and I think we've won the constructors. So yeah, just commiserations and congratulations to Louis. He's been a fantastic teammate, probably one of the best I've ever had, and yeah, I'll miss him not being on the grid next season.
Yes, just to confirm what Big C said, and I mentioned earlier, Toro Rosso have indeed won the Constructors' Championship. It was always going to be a tall order for Mercedes to swing that 19 points back in their favour, but consistency in terms of the 2 teammates, Toro Rosso just a bit better than Mercedes and Haas this season. But going back to you, Jamie, speaking of Haas,
yeah,
after winning that championship in such a way in the final laps, what is next for you in the season to come?
Oh, who knows? I mean, obviously I left it late, but obviously I will be coming back next season. As to what car and teammate I'll have, that's still up in the air at the moment, but hopefully I'll be able to say something soon on the site.
Excellent. Well, a big congratulations to the podium, and to you, Jamie, on winning your championship. I'm sure you'll put some "We Are the Champions" on your CD player or whatever you have these days.
Yeah. Sure.
And if you gentlemen can leave, I'll have some closing words for the watchers on the stream. But once again, thank you very much to you 3. Great drives today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam, for commentating.
Cheers for commentating. Yeah.
Yep.
No problem, guys. So, first of all, Jake, just some closing thoughts from you on this race and this season.
Yeah, it's been a great season to watch. So many battles and 4 people at the end going for the title. There's nothing more you want in a season finale. Unfortunately, we can't have that in the actual F1, but so many overtakes this season as well. So many great overtakes. I mean, we saw Aaron make a move today, and that was good. Probably one of the best I've seen. So yeah, and congrats to Jamie, fully deserved. He's been consistent all season. Unlucky for Game, because I know he'll be gutted with that. He's pushed himself so much, as well as Big C. Didn't have the best starts, didn't have the best results, or kind of missed 1 or 2 races, which didn't help them, but they came fighting back. Unfortunately, they came up short. And for Louis as well, coming into the season, I don't think anyone expected him to be up there. I didn't personally, but he's proved himself over the course of the season. Unfortunately, he got caught up in an incident he couldn't avoid at all. So yeah, congrats to them all. Congrats to the whole grid as well, because they put on a great show today and over the course of the season.
Yes, I completely agree with everything you just said there, Jake. It's been a fantastic season, so many twists and turns and some brilliant driving. A few incidents, but that's racing, that does happen. No long-term scars. So first of all, I just want to thank you, Jake, for joining me in the booth today. You've been a great help and a very good voice helping me covering these proceedings. So that's it, guys. End of the season. Has been a brilliant season. We hope you've enjoyed every broadcast. I certainly have. We have a 3-week break until January, so just want to thank everybody who has been watching, the admins, the drivers. What a season, eh? And everyone have a brilliant Christmas and a very drunk New Year, and we will see you for Season 2 of the F1 2017 era on GamingAlimonda. Thank you very much, guys, and good night.